Welcome back, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about the possibility of powering the US with solar energy. This was my final project in my Geographic Information Systems class. So, with the ever more increasing danger of climate change and its effects, it is important to find ways to eliminate as many greenhouse gases as possible. One recent societal revolution that is occurring is moving away from fossil fuels and turning to more renewable resources, such as electricity, to power our way of life. One major example of this is the uprising in popularity in electric vehicles. However, one drawback that still exists is that the electricity produced is still generated from burning fossil fuels. Thus, I would like to see if it is possible and or economically reasonable to power the entire United States of America with renewable resources, focusing primarily on solar power. So let's get started. Like I said, my purpose is inspired by the ever-increasing effects of climate change and to see if it's possible to even power the entire U.S. with renewable energy. I chose to focus on specifically solar because I believe it is one of the most underrated sources of energy available. In order to complete this huge goal of powering the U.S. with solar power, I first have to find out if it's physically possible, if it's economically viable, and if it is time-worthy. So first, some technical aspects. The U.S. consumes about 100.2 quadrillion British thermal units of energy, or about 3,785 terawatt hours per year. One 500-watt solar panel is about 1.5 square meters and about $300 US. 1 acre of land is 43,560 square feet, or 4,047 square meters. 1 acre would fit roughly 2,700 panels at this rate, at about $540,000 without the cost of construction and or labor. A commercial system can expect more of an average photovoltaic yield of about 0.24 gigawatts per square kilometer. So the equation to power the entire United States would thus be 3.23 times 10 to the 13 watts divided by 500 would end up being about 65 billion panels. So with 1 acre holding 2,700 panels, 65 billion panels would need roughly 24,074,075 acres. Plus, that's not even including batteries and hardware installation to maintain the solar panels. That many acres is about 37,615 square miles, which may seem a lot, but as a perfect square, that would be about 194 miles on each side. So the U.S. contains approximately 2 billion acres of usable land, so this would actually only come out to about 1.2% of the entire continental U.S. that would be needed. So if one panel is $300, then 65 billion panels would cost roughly $19.5 trillion. Of course, this isn't including any incentives or whatnot. So this graph shows the average price of an acre of land, pasture value, which usually is the cheapest, and roughly the average of $1,400 per acre. The land alone of 25 million acres or so would cost $33,703,705,000. So the solution to this would be that, first off, the U.S. currently does provide 11% of its total energy consumption through renewable resources. 9% of this is made up of solar power. So in total, solar already accounts for about 1% of all energy made. First, it would be preferable to build near where solar already exists to reduce infrastructure costs. The proximity from cities to account for growth should be considered, but also to reduce infrastructure as well. The best places right now would be in North Carolina, in the New England area around Pennsylvania and Maryland, and in California. Next, solar panels would need flat elevation to also maximize efficiency. If there's a mountain in the way casting shade, the solar panels can't do their best job. So this would mainly include flat surfaces and smooth plains. Luckily, the Midwest is pretty much covered in all of flat land, not to mention also Florida and most of Texas as well. And the available land types, which basically means the types of land that would have the smallest disturbance on the surrounding environment, which in my discovery would be barren land, shrubs and scrub land, herbaceous and pasture land. This map also includes all areas that are not within a national park or a Native American reservation. According to this map, all of the desert states of Nevada, Utah, and Arizona and southwestern Texas would be available for usage. Now, of course, since solar panels work best with the sun visible, the least rainfall on average would be preferred to maximize panel efficiency. So the more red color on the graph would resemble less precipitation, while green and blue resembles higher precipitation. So, in the areas of most red would of course be Arizona and Nevada and Utah areas. Now, the national average of electricity price is around 13 cents per kilowatt hour. So all in all, this idea would cost roughly about $19.5 trillion, as mentioned before. But the solar return on investment payback would calculate to 4.64 years without incentives. So this was all done by using ArcGIS and their suite of raster functions. I was first able to determine the most ideal location for the solar farm by using data management tools such as clip raster and select layer by location to filter the categories that I needed. Then, by selecting layers by attribute, it showed me how much space is available of each. Finally, within the spatial analyst tools, I used region group to combine all the features to create the finalized area. So, the moment we've all been waiting for. Is it physically possible? Yes, there is enough landmass for this idea to be possible. Economically? Not really. It's not even close due to astronomical costs without even considering energy storage, additional infrastructure, labor, and yearly maintenance. Is it time-worthy? Well, that's more of a maybe. Not all at once, due to only an average 20% panel efficiency, but the idea is worth expanding on to eliminate global warming from fossil fuels. So if the technology increases, or if a government decides to do it over a very long time, it would be time-worthy, yes. So there are many ideal locations, but one of the more ideal locations that I found, based on pre-existing solar panel field infrastructure, very little rainfall, and the land being primarily flat scrub land, is this dotted line area right here in the southern part of California and half of Arizona. And these are my sources for the project, and of course I hope you all enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you all next time. See ya!